Nightmare Gizmo here once again. I talk about basic engine repair. Anyway, for all those other YouTubers that have been asking me questions about the Cushman, sorry guys, I sold it. I just couldn't resist the sale, and it's gone on to a family that has thoroughly enjoyed it and all that. So this is another project that I have picked up that got to tell you, I've got absolutely no idea about. But I'm going to do my best to try to figure out what's wrong. And again, just like the Cushman, the only reason I'm doing a video is because why? Because no one else out there has one to help me diagnose what's wrong with this motor. So I figured that if I can diagnose it, I can pass this information on, and if someone else has a problem with their boat motor, this information may help them. So what I have is a 1978 Mercury. It is a model 800, and it's a 80 horse 4-cylinder motor. And also being 1978, if I didn't say that. So what I got was initially is crank, but no start. So at the time, this whole thing was all together. You know, it didn't look like this. But I noticed right off the bat, I wasn't getting fuel pressure up to here. I could squeeze the ball right here to pressurize it, but nothing was coming out of this fuel line here. So I discovered that this fuel line, which goes down inside, goes to this little coupler deal, and this hose comes back to here, goes inside of the boat itself, and then comes back out, and then goes up to the fuel tank. Well, this line was okay right here, so I went on ahead and installed a fuel filter, and I still couldn't get any pressure up to whatever this deal is, because from here it does something here, and then it feeds up to the carburetors. So the lines were collapsed here and here. So I went on ahead, replaced this fuel line right here, all the way up inside, up to here, and that resolved the issue. Well, when I cranked it, it started for about a second or two, and then it would die. It would crank, and then it would die, and so on and so on. Then it just got to a point where it would just crank, and it wasn't doing nothing. So I took in here and I sprayed some carburetor cleaner to see if I still had a fuel problem. And once I sprayed that in there, the engine still would not start. So at that point, I come back here, I take all this stuff all apart, and I start checking for my spark. Well, I checked for spark here, and I had spark, and I'm like, well, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So I started looking around here and all this kind of stuff, and this component here is called a switch box. So I found these wires here were kind of like, I just got like that, kind of frayed, falling apart, dry rotted. And it goes up to this component right here, which this is called a stator. This part up here is called the trigger. Okay, so going through my diagnostic procedures, I find that I have bad wires, and so I make repairs, do real nice, clean them all up. I do one wire at a time, and guys, I can't tell you how much I recommend that, is do one wire at a time. That's all you can do. So I do all the repairs, it's all good. I come back to here, I crank it back over, and I've still got spark on number 1, but it won't start. So I figured, what's up with this? So I go ahead and test the spark coming out of number 2, number 3, and also number 4. And guys, guess what? I don't have spark coming out of those 3 cylinders. So again, I come back over to here because I know I've got some wire issues, and I come back up here and I follow it up, and as I'm moving this trigger thing around, this wire, which goes up in here, which is attached to the trigger just goes like that. I'm like, I think that might be a problem. So I go ahead and take off the flywheel, which this is the flywheel right here. I take that off. I go ahead and remove the stator. And then I go ahead and wiggle this trigger out. And sure enough, the problem is, I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but there's a wire right there. There's just not enough wire there to try to make a repair. So I have another one of these coming. Shipping, including shipping the parts, is about $115, $116. Should be here in about a week, week and a half. So I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy that understands basic engine repair. Thought I would help someone else out that might help them during their diagnosis of a problem that they have on their motor. You know, guys, just look for the easy stuff. Look for broken wires. Look for wires that are rubbing on stuff that shouldn't be rubbing anywhere. So I'm hoping that I don't have no other issues as far as the motor goes, but we're going to go with broken wires at this point. I got another trigger coming, and once I install that, I'll bring up another video for y'all to show you what the outcome of that was. There could be some other underlying issues I may not be aware of just yet. But hey, if you got any questions for me, please ask. I'll do my best to give an answer. If you have any comments, or have I said any component on this motor incorrectly, please correct me. I'm not an expert. I just do basic engine repair. I've never worked on a boat motor before. This will be the first time for me. So, from Oklahoma, y'all have fun, and good luck with your projects. And this is Nightmare Gizmo. We're gone.